This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. 44 Cuban nationals were repatriated to Cuba early Wednesday morning. The exercise, led by the Department of Immigration's Deportation and Enforcement units, saw 35 males and 9 females on board a Bahamas Air chartered flight at approximately 8 a.m. from the Lynden Pindling International Airport en route to Havana, Cuba. Immigration officials say all security and health protocols were observed as the safety and welfare of officers and law enforcement and counterparts, as well as the migrants, remain their highest priority. This on the heels of 2 repatriation exercises to Haiti earlier in the week. In December of 2022, Minister of Works and Utilities Alfred Sayers announced that the government will carry out road works on at least 50 roads in New Providence over the next 2 years, with attention on the aging infrastructure for a permanent fix. Giving an update on those road works, Minister Sayers telling reporters that the projects, they're moving ahead, but there is a lot of road works left to be covered. And he said the rainy season has begun, which will not make things any easier.
So in addition to repaving, in addition to patching, there's also the issue of drainage. And we're also giving very focused attention to issues of flood mitigation. We've brought additional equipment such as pumps and what they call macro valve, so that in the wells where you have over a period of time water coming up with high tide, these valves will stop that water coming up and just ensure that the drainage of the water that's ponding on the road or on the sidewalk goes down.
In addition to that, Minister Sayers says the redrilling of wells has to be done for better effectiveness.
And we are drilling additional wells in communities where there is a history of ponding of water. So the road is combined with the mitigation, and that work is continuing.
As the time is nearing for the expiration of some contracts for road works, Minister Sayers says work is being done to ensure renewal of those contracts so that work on the roads can be seamless. 30 young people from throughout the islands of the Bahamas have been accepted into the Bahamas Power and Light, BPL's Linesman Training program. The 56-week rigorous program will equip individuals with the skills they need to carry out technical works in all family islands. BPL Executive Chairman Pedro Roll says over 300 individuals were tested and carried out extensive and physically demanding assessments to be one of the 29 men, 1 woman chosen to be a part of this program.
With regards to this process, we started out with over 300 applicants across the entire country. And from that group, we selected 60 of the top candidates based on their qualifications. Proving just how selective the process is, those 60 candidates then went through a series of exams, of competency exams. And those with the passing marks then did a practical exam. And that practical exam included physical activities like ladder and pole climbing, and other skills that are relevant to the job, like wire crimping and cutting and pulling and measuring cross arms and the like. Those who passed the practical examinations were invited to the final interview. In the end, we selected the best of the best. So the 29 males and 1 female who hail from both New Providence and the Family Island are here today, and they're the best from 300. Okay? You're already an elite crew, and we're going to expect a lot from you.
The Minister of Works and Utilities was the keynote speaker of the event and shared with the attendees how important the training is to ensure the future of BPL.
In the next few weeks, the Bahamas will celebrate, well, the next few months, the anniversary of our 50th independence. And I just want to say that BPL within our Commonwealth has been and is one of the strategic institutions, and what I would call an institution that is tied to the national security of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And as we celebrate this 50th anniversary, one of the milestones we will celebrate is that BPL has been able to provide power, electricity, to all of the residents in all of the disparate parts of this Commonwealth across 100,000 square miles.
BPL's Chief Administration Officer Ian Pratt congratulates the trainees and also provided them with a glimpse into what they can expect as new BPL ambassadors.
BPL not only is government owned, but also works hand in hand to further strategies in providing power, controlling costs, and meeting other goals of the country. One such goal spoken about by our Honorable Prime Minister is that of decarbonization, and that is a hot topic in the industry today. The new buzzword slogan is decarbonization through electrification. Trainees, you will aid this effort by becoming certified and assisting with the construction of transmission and distribution infrastructure to reach customers without access to the grid and to connect distributed energy resources such as renewable assets. The work of BPL is never ending, and we are glad to have this group of trainees here to help carry that load. You are all welcome.
Mr. Rose says he is hopeful that all individuals in the program will complete the 4 years and serve our communities well. A BPL Craftsman Apprenticeship program will also begin this fall for those of you who are interested. Parliamentarians in the lower chamber on Wednesday debated and passed the Law Reform and Revision Bill 2023. Leading off the debate was State Minister for Legal Affairs Jomo Campbell. With the bill replacing the current act, he noted that in preserving the country's democracy and the rule of law, legislators must from time to time modernize the laws and ensure that there are no detrimental overlaps.
A new revision and consolidation exercise in relation to the laws of the Bahamas is required, and the current laws must be updated to allow a more efficient approach to the revision and consolidation exercise. Madam Speaker, the current act was assented on the 12th of September 1975 and commenced the 2nd of October that same year. Over the years, it too has been subject to revision.
Add to that, he says the new bill updates the administration of the Law Reform Commission, particularly staffing, management, and legal procedures.
Section 13, subsection 1 of the bill also mandates the Law Reform Commissioner to submit a report on any aspect of his work every calendar year to the Attorney General. Section 6 of this bill lays detailed functions and powers of the Commission, some of which include, firstly, that it shall be the duty of the Commission to keep under review all the laws applicable to the Bahamas with a view to its systematic development and reform, including, in particular, the codification of such law, the elimination of anomalies, the repeal of obsolete and unnecessary enactments, and generally the simplification and modernization of the law.
According to State Minister Campbell, one of the key focuses of the Commission's work should be to review the country's antiquated family laws as well. And finally, members of the official opposition were largely not in support of the government's decision to bring to Parliament for the second reading the 2023 bill for an act to repeal and replace the Law Reform and Revision Act to modernize the law by reforming, revising, and consolidating the laws of the Bahamas. FNM Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, Adrian White, says he is not impressed by the amendments because it is not groundbreaking, nor is it transformative.
Madam Speaker, I've looked at this bill and I've not found anything groundbreaking. Madam Speaker, this is a new bill, and if you listen to it, you would think we just created something that is going to transform the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, that this is a groundbreaking piece of legislation. And my point is, Madam Speaker, this piece of legislation is replacing a piece of legislation.
Mr. White believes the law reform legislation does not need to be amended. He suggested the government was wasting the time of the parliamentarians when they could be debating other serious issues in the country like the Child Protection Act.
I made the comment that instead of amending laws that we need to amend, we are amending an act that didn't need amendment, but needed action. The Law Reform Commission needs to be more active, Madam Speaker. So we've gone off and spent today's time in the House of Assembly amending a bill that's essentially identical to the bill that was already there. We don't need to amend legislation that isn't going to move the country forward. We need action by this Law Review Commission.
Some of the changes made in the new bill include the authority to appoint law commissioners being removed from the Governor General and placed in the office of the Prime Minister, and the number of law commissioners reduced from 5 to 3. These are two issues the official opposition asked the government to explain their reasoning behind those decisions. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jcn Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.